Hi guys, it's Rick Baxter, Cost Control Software. In this video, I want to do a couple examples of AutoPilot for your Microsoft Dynamics NAV software. I'm going to give you a couple quick examples, probably about 4 examples here, and see if you kind of catch on to what we're doing to automate processes in your software. The example I'm going to start with is sending an order acknowledgement. So I'm in a sales order processor role center. Let's just, in fact, I'm just going to put in a new sales order so you can see this from scratch. So I'll say new sales order. Here we go. And I will, it's got the number. I want to pick the customer, and I'm going to pick Celigorian, C-E-L-A, the name. Oh my gosh, yep, Celigorian. And the reason I'm picking this customer is I've got myself set up as the email contact at this customer. That way you can see the acknowledgement come in to me. So let's come into the lines. This should be just a fairly simple example here. I'm going to put in some items. Let's just do some base, and we'll do 10. Okay, so 10 base. Now, the reason I kind of like this concept of AutoPilot is I want to notify my customer right away that we got their order. I kind of want to take as soon as the order comes in, I want to send to them a confirmation that the order has arrived. And all I want my staff have to do is just simply release the order. So I'll watch this. I say release. It changes the status from open to released. And now what's happening in the background and is AutoPilot is going to be realizing, oh, there's a new released sales order, and we want to send an order confirmation to our customer, and AutoPilot just kind of is doing this. Now I've got my emails. I'm using Outlook here for my email, and I should get here any second now. An email should come in for this particular account. So let me just wait. We'll just give it just a minute more. I want to do this as much. There we go, real time as possible. So order confirmation. So it sent it to me just for this example, versus sending it actually to the customer, which is where it would normally go. But I wanted you to see this come in automatically. So here's the new order. And if we just look at it, we can just preview it here on screen. So here is there we go, the sales order acknowledgement for 10 pieces of base, and there's the price, and there's the total down there at the bottom. So this is basically what the customer would receive on their end, is a notification that the order has been received. So that's the first step in the process. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, now that's optional. I mean, you don't have to activate the pilot to do that, but a lot of our customers like to be able to send an acknowledgement as soon as that gets released. Now, the second thing that could happen here is you might ship some of this order, and when you do, you want to send an kind of an advance shipment notice to the customer that that you're shipping it to them. So you simply come in here, quantity to ship. Let's do a partial. So I'm going to say just 3. So we'll do a partial shipment, and then I'm going to just post this. So it's just a normal operation. All right, so I'm posting this, and I'll show you how this all works in a second here. But I'm just now posting the 3, and it shows quantity to ship 7 and the quantity shipped 3. And you can also see it up here in the shipments. We've done 1 shipment now, and I can view the shipments, and here it is. I could print it if I needed to, but really what I want to do is show you that the order has come in, or it basically AutoPilot is picking up this order It'll beep at us here in just a second, and I'll open up emails. There it goes. And so here is my next shipment acknowledgement. So AutoPilot shipment number, please reviews is the email. It's got the shipment number attached here, Mr. Whoever it's going to, please find attached a copy of your shipment notice regarding order 1031 dated this date. According to our records, it was shipped. If I had put in, I didn't do that, but if I had put in a tracking number, it would show up here, and your company information would be down here at the bottom. And the shipment notice, if we just preview this on screen, it would look something like this, where we are sending out, we've shipped 3, ordered 10, 7 are back ordered. And that's the, it's a pretty basic shipment notice to the customer. Okay, and then the second part, let's go back to NAV again. Second part is when you actually invoice the customer, all right? And we would want the invoice to go as well. Now, I'm showing you 3 very kind of related examples here, and I'm doing it boom, 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 one after the other. Let's go ahead and invoice those 3. So we'll just change the quantity to invoice to 3, and we'll post the invoice here. You've probably seen this a million times. So I'm basically generating a charge to that customer. I'm generating the invoice, and without having to do anything more, I would now want to send that invoice to the customer. So basically, I've gone from an acknowledgement to an advanced shipment notice to an invoice without changing any of my underlying workflow of what I would do on a regular basis. So let's go see if I'll open up my emails, and we should get here any second. The actual invoice should come in. There it is, right on time. Okay, so here is the invoice. Attached, please find the invoice number 103061. Here's the amount. Let's put the amount in there, and I can, of course, preview it in my in the browser here. So here's the invoice for base, 3 pieces of base. There's the total amount. So now your invoice may or may not look exactly like this, whatever yours happens to look like. Yours may have a logo and so forth up here. But the idea is I've just done my normal NAV processing, and automatically I get this invoice to go to the customer without doing anything that I normally don't do. And that's the beauty of AutoPilot. So now let's go take a look at the back end here, and I'll show you the secret of how this whole thing works. So let's open up the AutoPilot flight deck, and this is the back end. This is the watchdog. This is sitting out here running with not just the pilots I showed you. I showed you the invoicing pilot. I showed you the, what was the other one? The order acknowledgement. I showed you that pilot, and I showed you the advanced shipment notice pilot as well. And so those are running constantly. You can actually kind of see them working away up here, looking to see if there's any new orders or invoices that need to go out to the customer. This just sits here and runs and runs and runs. You really don't have this open on your screen. I'm just showing this as an example so you know what's happening on the back side to generate those documents. Now, I think I'll do one more quick example here, because it's not just sending the live documents. Often you will have certain reports that you might want to send out to a customer, and I've got a good example of that here as well. I call them my weekly reports. So I've got some weekly reports, and you can see them listed over here on the right side. I've got an aged receivable report, I've got an outstanding purchase order report, and a customer top 10 report. And I want to get those reports sent to me, which is what we call the delivery lines, on a weekly basis. So you simply go into your AutoPilot card, and you will see here the recurrence. If I come down to this portion of it, you'll see actually this is set to send almost daily. I would maybe just want this to go on Monday, something like that, or maybe just Sunday, whenever. So you set it so it, how frequently does it kick off and send that information. So you can set it here. Also notice you can set it by months, and you can actually even set some very fancy dates here with the custom formulas as far as frequency and so forth. But I won't get into a training session here. I just want you to know there's lots of different options to control the frequency that certain things are sent. Now, to do this as an example, I will need to kind of set the date back so that it thinks it's time to send this to me. So I'm just going to go ahead and set the date back a little bit here to 2/1/18, and then AutoPilot will basically trigger, what we call trigger in the business, and it will then say, oh, okay, it's time to send that report, and actually 3 reports. So you'll see it working away up here. It's generating up here at the top those weekly reports, and it's now sending them. First one is getting sent to Doug down here, and then it's going to send it to me as well. Here it goes right there. See, weekly reports to Rick Baxter. So I can kind of monitor, sorry about that, monitor what's happening. And you heard them just come in, so let's open up my emails again. So here is this automatic email, and I've got the weekly, here's my aging report. That's all come in automatically. The outstanding POs, the top 10 customer list, all of this stuff happens all automatically without you having to do anything to basically generate these reports. Now think about the application here for your business. What this means to you is you can set this up to run like in the middle of the night, or send some reports to your salespeople or to customers or to vendors. Could be purchase orders. It could be all sorts of different things. It could be retrieving information. You could be pulling in some, maybe a new order off of the website or whatever you need this software to do. AutoPilot is user defined. That's the beauty of this. A user defined automation tool that lets you tell it what you want it to do. Now, we would, of course, go through the appropriate amount of training with you to help you get this thing set up, but it is just wonderful so that you don't have to be sitting here running these things automatically. You just run your NAV processes, and in behind the scenes, AutoPilot is literally looking at the dates, it's looking at new orders, it's looking at new purchase orders, at whatever it is that you've set up as a pilot. It's sitting there behind, it's kind of your watchdog. So it's ready to spring into action and keep your customers informed, keep your vendors informed. It's a great little tool. Hope you have interest in learning more about this. I'm going to put up my phone number and contact information, and then let's get together for an in-depth demonstration and discussion about your particular application for AutoPilot. Thanks so much.